going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's episode, we're going to be building out a developer portfolio. In this case, it's going to be my own. I'm going to show you how I built this from start to finish. Of course, you guys can go ahead and take from it, learn from it, and make it your own. So if I refresh it right here, you're going to see we're going to have a beautiful frame of motion animation that's going to kind of fade our application into the view. I'm going to have a nav bar along the top that's going to disappear as I scroll down. If I click on any of these, you're going to see it's going to redirect me down to that specific ID, which is awesome. As well as if I click on contact, you're going to see it's going to open up a Calendly calendar to actually go ahead and book a meeting with me. So you're going to see right here, I have a picture of myself. I have a waving hand animation right here. This is going to be built using frame of motion. Right here, I'm going to have some text that, again, is going to be a typewriter effect. It's going to look like this. Right here, I have some text underneath. And then this component right here is going to be built using a Eternity UI. This is going to be a link preview component. I'm going to be showing you guys how to build that. So if you go ahead and you click on one of those, you're going to see it's going to redirect us to that specific link or that URL. Same thing with the Discord here. It's going to open up the Discord application. If I go ahead and I scroll down, I'm going to go ahead and display all of the videos that I have on my channel. And if I click on one, you're going to see it's going to redirect me to that specific video, which is awesome. So same thing with all the other ones. Cool. So if I continue to scroll down, you're going to see I'm going to display my projects. So these are just some things I've been working on right here. Some work experience. This is all dummy data right here. You guys can obviously go ahead and enter in your own. And then I'm also going to display my education, which again is also dummy data. But yeah, this is what it looks like from start to finish. And then of course it's going to be mobile responsive. So as you can see right here, this is what it's going to look like. So I left the links in the description down below if you guys want to go ahead and check it out yourself. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into coding. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get started. The first thing that we need to go ahead and do is we need to navigate to the Shadcn UI website. So you can do that by going to ui.shadcn.com. And then once you get here, go ahead and press Docs, Installation, and then for frameworks, just select Next.js. This right here is going to be the command line that we're going to go ahead and use to actually create our project inside of our VS Code. So if you don't already have your VS Code open, go ahead and open that up. You can see mine here on the right hand side. Open up a new terminal by clicking on this button right here. You're going to see it's going to pop up from the bottom. And then we need to go ahead and we need to type this out. So just say npx create next app at latest. And instead of calling our application or our folder my app, like they've done here, let's call ours portfolio. And then we need to type out the rest of this command line. So just do TypeScript, Tailwind, and then ESLint, all in one line, just like that. I'm going to expand this so you guys can see this a little bit better. But just go ahead and make sure you have this right here. And then press enter. It's going to ask us a couple questions. So it's going to say, would you like to use the source directory? We're going to say no. Would you like to use the app router? We're going to say yes. And then we're going to say no for the import alias. Okay, so you can see that our project was created successfully as we have this success message right here. Now let's open that up and let's see what it looks like. So inside that start menu, press open, and then let's find our folder that we just created. So portfolio. There we go. And now we can see the folders, the files, all the packages related to our specific project once we ran that command line. Now let's actually open up a new terminal and now let's run this. So just do npm run dev. It's going to open up our application on local 3000. And all you have to go ahead and do is just click on that link right there. You're going to see it's going to automatically open up. There we go. So we can see everything here translating to the web browser, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and let's make some immediate modifications. So what you can do is inside of your page.tsx, go ahead and find line 5, and then where the corresponding main tag is, just go ahead and remove everything and replace it with a div. And inside that div, just put text that says hi. And you're going to see it's going to update like that. I'm going to switch these around. There we go. Now the next thing we can do is we can remove the dark theme from our application. So go inside of your globals.css and then remove everything up until line 3. So keep lines 1, 2, and 3 the same. You're going to see that we're going to have a white background with black text, which is good. And then we can go ahead and update our font. So go inside of your layout.tsx, and then where it says import enter from next font/Google, just change this to be space grotesque, like that. Let's change this to be font, and then let's also do space grotesque, like that. Update this to be font.classname, because we changed the name right here. So it's going to be font.classname. You're going to see that this is going to actually change our font. Okay, fantastic. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and let's jump into our page.tsx and let's get set up with everything. What we need to go ahead and do first is we need to search up a website called bg.ibelic.com, like that. This is going to allow us to actually have those dots in our background. So I'm going to show you what this looks like right here. So it's very, very faint. It's pretty difficult to see. But if I zoom in, you can see we have like these little dots right here. So I'm going to show you how to grab those. So go ahead and find it right here. So I believe it is the 10th one right here. Click on preview. You're going to see that it's going to update the background with those dots. And then all you have to go ahead and do is copy code. Of course, you guys can use whatever you want. You're going to see it's going to update really nicely. But for this one, I'm just going to be using this right here. Go ahead and then paste it right here. And then we need to make some immediate modifications. So the first thing we need to do is we need to change this to be class name instead of class. So just go ahead and change that. Let's break these all up like that. And then go ahead and remove the outermost div that we just copied and pasted. So this relative.hfull with full bg white, we're going to remove those divs like that. Okay, so now that we have that, if we go back into our application, locals 3000, and we refresh, we should see that we have our dots right here. We do, which is awesome. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is we need to change the gradient right here. So as you can see, we have kind of like a circle with everything else being cut up on the sides. So let's remove that. To remove that, what you have to do is you have to update these values to be 100. And then you're going to see it's going to expand the entire width and height now. All right, awesome. Now the next thing we need to do is change this absolute and hfull to be min h screen, like that. Okay, so we now have all of the classes set up for this. And then if we go ahead and we type within here, you should see some text here that says hi. There it is. So it looks like that. Okay, fantastic. So let me set this up. There we go. So inside of here, I want to go ahead and I want to display our layout. So we're going to do a medium size. On medium size screens and above, we want the width to be 60%. So just go ahead and say div like this to class name is going to be like just as I said. Width is going to be 3/5. We're going to put everything in the middle with MX auto, padding X of 6, and then on medium size screens and above, we're going to do a padding X of 0, as well as a padding bottom of 20. So do P padding bottom 20, like that. And now if I go ahead and I put the same text as this high, you're going to see it's going to be within these walls right here. So if I were to show you what this looks like a little bit more, you can see right here we have this big box, and this is going to kind of indicate where we're going to be working with our application. So as you can see, we're kind of contained inside of these walls, which is nice. Okay, so you can remove the border class, it's not necessary. All right, now that we have that, let's get set up with the contact button. So essentially, this is going to refer to this right here. And when we click on this, you're going to see it's going to open up our Calendly component. So let's just get set up with that. Let's jump into here and just do div. Do class name is going to be a padding top of 10. Let's do a justified end. Let's do items are going to be centered. Let's do flex. And then we're going to do an underline. And then I also want to say on medium sized screens and above, I want an empty of hidden because I want to also display like a different style nav bar. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to go back into the Shadcn UI documentation and we need to grab the second command line. So this right here is going to actually install Shadcn, and then we can start using their component. So the component we're going to be using is going to be the modal or the dialog as Shadcn calls it. But first we need to just run through this. So it's going to say which style would you like to use. Just select default. Base color is going to be slate, and then yes for the CSS variables. So just enter, 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 and then it's going to say success message, project initialization completed. You may now add components. Okay, that's awesome. So now go ahead and scroll down to the dialog component, and then you're going to see what it looks like right here. So this is going to be the thing that we're using. So when we click on this, we want this to open up. Okay, so let's add the dialog. So do npm, and then just add it like that. npx Shadcn UI latest add dialog. It's going to install like that. If we go back into our application, you're going to see a couple things happen. A components folder was created for us, and then a UI folder inside of components was created, and then this is where we have our dialog, and this right here is going to refer to the component. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and let's click on the usage, and let's copy all of this right here from Chats and UI, and then let's just import it like that. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go ahead and let's set up the dialog. So I'm just going to say, we can copy this right here, this example, and then just paste it. Let's give it a second to load, and then we should see right here where we have this text that is open. Okay, fantastic. So let's change the dialog trigger to be contact, like that. You're gonna see it's going to update, which is nice. You can remove the dialog header and the title. That's not necessary. So we just keep the dialog content like this, and then you're gonna see we have this empty kind of box right here. Okay, so let's get set up with styling our dialog now. So let's jump into dialog.tsx, and then we can get set up. So let's zoom on a little bit here, and let's find where we need to be working in. So inside of your dialog content, dialog primitive.content, where we have the Z50 grid width full, make sure to change this max width of large to be 3XL, like that. Okay, so you're going to see that once we expand now, you're going to see it's going to be pretty big, which is nice. And then we can go ahead and we can get set up. Okay, so we have this here. Now inside of our page.tsx, let's get set up with the content. So for the content, I'm going to be using React Calendly. So just go ahead and install this package called npmi React Calendly, like this. So this is going to be our thing right here. We are going to install this. So just copy this command line. Inside of here, just paste that. So npmi React Calendly. And that's going to allow us to actually use the inline widget. So what we need to do is we need to import the inline widget. So do import inline widget from React Calendly, just like that. Okay, and then we can go ahead and use our inline widget like that. So I already have a Calendly account, so if you don't already have one, go ahead and set one up. Then pretty much all you have to go ahead and do is just go to calendly.com. I'm going to log in. Okay, it's going to make me sign in. And pretty much just go ahead and set up a account, create a meeting, and then it's going to display this right here, this event. And then all you have to do is you have to click on the event details, or where is it right here? If I paste this, there you go. So you're gonna have different types of meetings that you want. You can have like a 15-minute meeting, you can have like a 20-minute meeting, but all you have to do is just copy that link right here, and inside of your inline widget, just paste that code for the URL. There we go. So we have https calendly.com for software. I also want the 15-minute meeting one. So I think I just have to add /15. Give me a second here. Yeah, so I'm just going to copy this right here. C. Paste this. Okay, anyways, I'm just going to do this right here. Okay, and now if I jump back into here, it's going to say class extends value undefined. So what you need to do is you just need to add the use client to the very top. I believe this error is going to go away. Okay, there we go. So it looks like the error went away. Now if I click on contact, you're going to see right here, we have our Calendly meeting right here. People are able to actually book meetings directly through this right here. People fill this out. Just going to say hello. You say hello. Just do that, and then schedule the event. And then you're going to see it's going to say you are scheduled. And just like that, you now have a fully working calendar app, and people are able to contact you within like 10 seconds, which is super cool. Okay, now that we have that, let's go ahead and let's continue. So again, this is what we have right here. All right, So now the next thing we need to do is we need to get set up with the actual content. So displaying the image and then the move, like the waving hand, the name and all that. So this right here. Okay, so after the dialog, and then where we have this justify end, let's remove all the unnecessary spacing right here. Go ahead and put a div, and then inside this div, let's style it. So we'll do class name. It's going to be on medium size screens and above. We're going to do a flex. So we're going to align everything on the x-axis. Do a gap x of 10. So items are going to be centered. And then on medium size screens and above, we're going to do a padding top of 28. Okay, let's use our image. So again, image is already imported from Next image. And then let's also set up our images. So do quotation mark / images, and then instead of doing hero.png, I'm just going to use the name of the file on my own face. So do igor.jpg. Obviously, just go ahead and use your own. Alt is going to be my name. For the width, I want to make this really HD, so just do 10,000, and then do a height, also 10,000. And then for the class name, let's do rounded XL. Width is going to be 40, and then also a margin top of 4. And then let's close everything out. And then we need to actually create this images folder. So inside of public, create a new folder. It's called images. And then I'm going to drag and drop my face, the file from the GitHub repository inside of here. So this is me right here. Okay. So now that I have that, if I jump back into localhost 3000, we should see we have an image right here. Okay. There we go. So now that we have that, let's also display our little waving hand. So inside of, right underneath our image, just do another div. And then let's also do a class name of space y2. This is going to give a little bit of a gap on the y-axis. So what we can do is we can just say, let's do the waving hand. So let's do Emojipedia. Let's go to search up wave, and then waving hand right here. Let's copy it, and then we're going to use framer motion to animate in a second. But right here, just go ahead and paste this. There we go. So we have our waving hand, and then we go ahead and set this up. So put a div around this, sorry, and then put the waving hand like that, and then we can style this. So do the class name is going to be pretty big, so text 4XL. We're going to do a margin y of 4, and then it's going to be hidden. Let's do MD of block. There we go. So we now have our hand, and then we're going to put some text right here that's going to say, hi, I'm Igor, and then we're going to be using Eternity UI for these link previews and stuff like that. But right here we have our hand. We're going to worry about the animation in a second. So again, our hand is not visible right now, but we're going to set this up in a second. Actually, if we remove this right here, should see, okay, we have our hand here. There we go. Okay, so you don't need those two classes, sorry. So you don't need hidden and empty block. Just remove those and then just keep this right here. Okay, and now underneath here, let's go ahead and let's display some text, which is going to be hi there, I'm Igor. So anytime that you want to use apostrophe, just go ahead and put the and sign, APOS, and then do this semicolon thing right here. And then you're going to say, hi there, I'm Igor. I'm a software engineer based in London. Looks like this. And now we can actually style this text. So with this H1, go inside here and just do class name is going to be text XL on large size screens and above. It's going to be text 4XL like that. And then also font semi-bold, so it's going to be pretty big. See, it's going to look like that. All right, and now that we have that, we can also go ahead and set up our typewriter effect. So for the typewriter effect, we need to search up this website called React Simple Typewriter. So just search up React Simple Typewriter like that. Click on the first one, and then we can go ahead and install this npm package. Okay, so now that we have that, open up our terminal, and then just say npm I React Simple Typewriter, and then we can go ahead and import it. Okay, so this was done successfully, which is nice. Now let's go ahead and let's import this. So let's go back into here, right underneath where we have our inline widget. Also, you can go ahead and remove the stuff that we're not using from the dialog. So I'll just go ahead and I'll show you what that looks like. So just remove description, header, title, because it's not being used. So import typewriter from React to simple typewriter, like that. And then we can get set up. So it's going to be a really straightforward component to use. I personally like it a lot when I was looking for something like this. This is actually a really amazing package. I'll show you what to do. So right here, where we have this hi there, I'm Igor, you can remove this text, and then you can put typewriter, and then you can just display or use this prop called words, and then inside of here, just put text that says hi. I'm gonna put like your name there, and then just do I build things for the web, and then I'll show you what this looks like. So if we go back, make sure that you have a closing tag right here, and then you're gonna see it's going to create this effect right there. So it says hi, I'm Igor, I'm a software engineer, and then it's going to remove everything again. That's going to say I'm a full stack developer. So this is actually a really cool package. So if you don't want to create this, the typing and then the deleting, you just have to remove these arrays. So just do hi, I'm Igor, and then I'm just going to put text that says I build things for the web, like that. And then once I refresh this, you're going to see it says hi, I'm Igor, I build things for the web, and then it's going to stay there, which is the same effect that I have on this right here. Okay, so now that we have that, let's also get set up with the text underneath. So underneath here, underneath our h1, let's do a p tag. We're going to do class name, it's going to be text muted foreground. Let's do text LG, medium size strings are going to be a padding right of 8. And then inside here, let's go ahead and do I have a, and then just do a little gap. So just do this right here, like a space. So I have a right there. And now we're going to use the link preview from Aceternity UI. So just go ahead and search up Aceternity UI.aceternity.com. Let's click on components and then let's find the link preview. So link preview is one of their new components right here. Go ahead and install this. Again, just do npm I framer motion CLSX tailwind merge, and then just press enter. And then we need to also install this dependency right here. So just add this one as well. So do npm I radix UI react hovercard QSS. Okay, so we already have our CN file. So as you can see, this was created once we ran the shat-cn UI thing. Inside of our lib folder, we have utils.ts. So these two are the exact same, so we don't need to worry about this one. Now let's go ahead and let's get set up with the microlink config instead of our next.config.js. So in our case, it's going to be down here. So next.config.mjs, go ahead and click on that. And then inside of here, let's get set up. So we're going to say images like this, do domains like that. It's going to be an array. And inside of here, put a string, just do api.microlink.io, and then close this out. So this is the exact thing. You can just copy paste this if you want, but it's right here. All right. And now anytime that you make a change to the root of your application, you always just want to go ahead and refresh everything. So that way nothing's going to be broken. So just go ahead and shut everything down and then just do npm run dev. It's going to reopen our application on localhost 3000 with the necessary changes. So if I go ahead and I refresh, give it a second, we are then going to be able to use the link preview. Okay, so everything's looking good right here. Now we can go ahead and continue following the documentation. So it says copy the source code, which is good. So go inside of your UI folder, create a new file. Let's just call it a link preview.tsx. And then it's going to give us all of the code. So just click expand, copy everything, and then just paste it right here. We need to go ahead and we need to change this right here. So it says import cn from @utils/cn. We are doing that from lib/utils. So I hope that makes sense right there, but I drag and drop this folder, you can see that the path name of cn, so we're exporting function cn, is at, so this right here, the folder is lib, and then the file is utils.ts, so this right here. Okay, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and see what else we need to do. So let's keep scrolling. So we can see that we have an example of some code. So let's actually use link preview now. Go back into our page.tsx. I'm going to bring this to the other side right here. Okay, and then inside here, where we have underneath this bracket, let's do a link preview. So let's import it from @/components/UI/link preview. So again, make sure to import it like this. I'll give you guys a chance or a second to pause right here and just import it. So then do the link preview. And then we also want to go ahead and display the link that we actually want to preview. So in this case, I'm going to do the YouTube. So I'm going to say this right here. So the URL is going to be equal to my actual YouTube channel. So just go ahead and display, like if you have a LinkedIn, put that. If you have a Twitter, put that. Then underneath here, we can also do a class name. So it's going to be font bold. And then I just try to make it so that it's like red because it's like the YouTube color, right? Text rows 500, underline. Then the next we need to do is we need to install React icons. So add in your terminal and then just do npm I React icons like this. And then we can go ahead and use one of the icons. So in this case, I'm going to be using the PI font, or I guess icon family. So just do PI YouTube logo, and I want the fill like this. Class name is going to be height of 6, a width of 6. I'm going to do inline, and then I'll also do text red 500. Should we have a closing tag, and then put text right here, where we're just going to say YouTube channel. Okay, so I know that was a lot of stuff that we just did right there, but now if we refresh our application, we should see we have a link preview. It's going to preview to the actual link that we want right here in this URL, and then we're going to display some text. Let's give it a second to load. To save everything up, and then I'll zoom out so you guys can see this a little bit better. There we go. So we have our typewriter, we have the text that we want. Again, if you guys wanted to be able to delete text like that and stuff, just make it an array. But there we go. So he says, I have a YouTube channel, and then if I hover over it, and I drag, or like I move my cursor anywhere, you're going to see it's going to display our actual thing. And now if I click on this, you're going to see it's going to redirect me to my actual YouTube channel, which is pretty sick right there. So that's a super modern component right there. Not many developer portfolios have something like that, so I want to include it so that you guys can kind of see how it works. But yeah, it's a super sick component. Now let's also display some more text. So I'm just going to say I have a YouTube channel where I share my knowledge about web development, or I can just say this right here, where I share my knowledge about web development. I'm going to say where I share my knowledge and experience with the community. There we go. So a couple things are margin left 2. I'm going to change this to be 1 instead because it's too much, I think. You can see right here, it kind of moves in. And then I also want this right here to have a little bit of a space. So after the link preview, just copy this curly bracket and then the quotation marks with the space. You're going to see it's going to give us a little space right there. So there we go. So it doesn't look like so cramped. Okay, so now that we have that, let's do another p tag underneath. So we're going to do p, class name is going to be text metered foreground. Let's do text LG. This one's not going to need a padding rate of 8. But then we can also just put text that says feel free to reach out to me on, and then again, do that space right there with the quotation mark. And then let's do our link preview. Again, in this case, I'm just going to do the Discord one. So I'm just going to copy and paste this right here. It's going to be pretty much the exact same thing. I just changed this link right here, and I just changed the logo. And then I'm going to put text that says, I'm always happy to help. So import this, and then just close everything out with the p tag right here. So I'm going to say feel free to reach out to me on link preview, the Discord fill, and then I'm going to display text that says Discord. There we go. So we can see that this is what it looks like, and this is what we want it to look like. There we go. So we kind of have the exact thing that we want. If I click on this, you're going to see it's going to have you kind of join the Discord. Okay, cool. So let's go back. Fantastic. The next thing that we need to do is we need to work on these arrays right here. So this is going to be the videos. We're going to display the projects, the work experience, the education, and then at the very end we're going to display our navbar, as well as we're going to set up React scroll. So we're going to have this set up nicely. Okay, so for the videos, let's get set up with this. Where do we have our, right here? Make sure that you're still working inside of the width 3/5 MX auto. So I'm just finding where that div is, and then I'm just going to save this right here. So inside of here, I'm going to do a div. I'm going to put an h2 tag, which is going to just be videos. Let's do a class name. It's going to be text of XL, padding top of 10, and then let's also do a font of semi-bold. And then if we go back to here, you're going to see that we have some text that says videos. Awesome. And now we need to go ahead and get set up with an array, which is going to allow us to actually display this content. So for this videos array, what we need to do is at the very top, outside of where we have our function, we need to get set up. So just do const videos is going to be equal to an array. And then inside of our object, we're going to have a title. So this is going to refer to this text right here that you see. So this is build and deploy full stack SaaS product hunt. So this is my last video. If you guys haven't watched it, just go ahead and check that out. But yeah, this is the text, this is the image, this is going to be the description, and then we're going to display some technologies and their logos. So do title like that, and then again, just put the title of whatever your actual project is called. In this case, this is what mine is called. So just do that right there. So build and deploy full stack SaaS product on clone, like that. Let's do a URL. So this is going to allow people to actually click on this and get redirected. So I'm going to do a like this. URL is going to be equal to that specific link. Again, just go ahead and put whatever you want for your own link. For the description, okay, so make sure you also have a comma after this, so that error is going to go away. Do description, and then I'm going to put the description that I have. String again. Like that. So comprehensive video course on building a full stack SaaS product with Next.js, React, Tailwind, Stripe, all that. Okay, after this, go ahead and put our image. So in this case, I'm going to display this right here. And then for technologies, let's also set this up. So we're going to say technologies. In this case, is going to be an array. So do a semicolon, and then inside of here, set up objects. We're going to do title. This is going to be auth.js. And then inside of here, I want to display the actual image. So do image like this. Let's do slash images. Let's do auth.webp, like that. And then we can go ahead and copy and paste this a bunch of times and then just change the values as we see fit. So for the next one, we're going to do a TypeScript title. TypeScript. Again, make sure that you have commas after all these objects so that these errors go away. For the image for this one, it's going to be ts.jpg. For the next one, it's going to be Next.js. For the images, let's change this to be Next PNG. Let's do React as well. It's going to be React.png. So you guys can kind of see the theme of how everything else is going to work. So let's do a Vercel one. And then let's do Vercel .svg, and then let's also do one for stripe, which is going to be the last one. So we're going to say stripe, and then just do stripe, and then just do PNG. Okay, so now that we have everything set up, we can go ahead and we can get started. So let's go back down to where we have our code, where we're getting set up with our videos, and then let's loop through all of the values, and then we can go ahead and change them as we see fit. So right here, where we have videos, after the h2 tag, just do videos like that, videos.map. Instead of here, do a div, closing div, make sure that we have the corresponding tags to close. Instead of here, open up our key. So key is going to be video.title. We're going to do a class name, and we're going to say a margin y of 4. And then let's also just say on click is going to be equal to an arrow function, which is going to say window.open to the video.url. So again, the URL is referring to this portion right here. So as you can see, if I click on this, you're going to see it's going to open up this. You can see that specific video right there. Okay, I'm going to close this, all of these right here, and then just keep this open. Refresh. There we go. Okay, so now that we have that right here, let's also style this div. So instead of here, do a div again. Make sure we have a corresponding div, and then just do class name is going to be on medium-sized screens. I want to do a flex, do a gap x of 10 on medium-sized screens again. Let's do cursor pointer. Items are going to be centered. Let's do border rounded of 2XL, padding 4. Let's do 8. We actually don't need this one here, P4, and then also do a BG of white. And now we can go ahead and display the information inside of our box that we just created. So let's display our image first. So we're going to say image like this. Let's do source is going to be equal to video.image. The alt is just going to be the title. The width is going to be pretty big, so just do like 1,000. And then do the height is going to be 1,000 as well. Class name is going to be rounded. We're going to do of MD. Let's do width full. And then on medium size screens, we want the width to be 1/5. So it doesn't take up the whole thing, right? Like that. Okay. So now we need to actually go ahead and grab our image. So you can see that it's broken right here, but we have our box, which looks really good. And now let's grab our image. So for this one, what we need to do is we need to grab the product hunt.png. So this was the thumbnail of the video I just created, and then I need to just drag and drop inside of images. So I'm just going to drag and drop like this, and I have it right here. And now if I refresh, you're going to see that I have my image like that. Cool. And then if I expand it, you're going to see it's going to look like this. And now we just have to go ahead and display this remaining text. Okay, so let's go back to where we were just working in, and we can display that information. So underneath our image, I want to put everything in a column. So just do div like this. Make sure we have corresponding div tag to close. Let's just do flex call. Let's do a space y of 2, and then h2 class name. Let's do md, and then md is going to be mt of 0, and then do video.title. There we go. So we can see now that the title is going to appear. It's going to look like that. Underneath our title, let's go ahead and let's display our description, which is just going to be text muted foreground, and then we're also going to do a text of SM. So it's going to be a little bit smaller right here. It's going to look like that. Okay, now that we have that, let's do a div again. Let's do class name is going to be flex, gap x of 2, and then we want to go ahead and loop through all of the technologies, and we want to display that specific image. So just do video.technologies.map, go through the technology, And then inside of here, where we have div, do key is equal to technology.title. Let's do class name is going to be flex items are going to be centered. Image, technology.image, technology.title. The width is going to be pretty big, so just do 10,000 again. And then for the class name, just go ahead and make this a width of 8. Now if we refresh, we should see our images. Let's see what's going on. Technology.image. Let's see. Okay, so the reason why we don't have anything here is because we actually have not displayed or imported these specific images. So same thing that we just did with our product hunt. Let's actually drag and drop these images over, and then we'll be able to see it. So I'm going to do the auth one first. Auth.webp. So this is the logo right here. Again, I would advise just going into the GitHub repository and then grabbing these yourself, so that way we have the exact same ones. Drag and drop the TypeScript one. Let's do the next.png. Let's do Tailwind. And then I'm going to also go ahead and get the Vercel one, which is going to be SVG. Let's do Stripe. And then make sure I'm not forgetting anything. That should be good. And now if I refresh, you should see that these are going to connect. Okay, nice. So the Vercel.svg one is right here. Oh, we need the React one as well. So let's add the React one, which is going to be just react.png. Now if I refresh, we should see that all these are going to be filled and no longer going to be broken images. There we go. Okay, so we have everything set up as intended. If I drag and drop this to the other side, you're going to see that this is what it's going to look like. There we go. So we can kind of see how everything is kind of flowing together right here. We still need to work some stuff to work on right here. We're going to add frame motion all throughout the rest of this, but right now, that's a good start. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste all of the other videos that I have, so that it doesn't bore you guys with time. But yeah, it's pretty much just going to follow the exact same theme. So let me go ahead and let me do that. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, I'm going to now have all this other stuff, and then I need to display my other images. So for this one, just going to go ahead and add them. Um, okay, let's see what else I have to do here. Just going to Asana should be good. I just need Notion, and then I just need the Loom one. To do Notion, and then Loom. Okay, there we go. I'm back. So we can see that we have all of this stuff added right here. So I have all my images, my thumbnails, and then I have all of the text and then the technologies related to that specific one, which is nice. One other thing that I'm forgetting is the frame motion one. So let me add that as well. Just add frame motion, and then you're going to see that this one's going to be working. There we go. So all of the links are now successfully added. Looks pretty good. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is I want to display the projects. So for this one, it's going to follow the same theme, where we're going to create an array and we're going to loop over that information. So let's just get set up with that. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste. So underneath our, right here underneath the videos, want to create a new array, and then inside of here, I'm going to display the title, description, when I worked on the project, which is just going to be a made up date, as well as an image relating to that specific project. So exactly following the exact same thing, what we have right here, it's just going to be a lot more condensed. Okay, so now that we have that, let's loop through everything, and then we can go ahead and display our projects. So underneath here, let's do a div, and then inside here, just put an h2 tag again. We're just going to put projects, and then let's style this. Let's do text XL. Padding top is going to be 10. Let's do a font of semi-bold, like that. And then we can also display everything in a grid. So do div, class name is going to be, let's do grid calls 2, gap 4, and then empty of 5. Let's loop through our projects, get our specific project, and then we can go ahead and display everything like that. So if I refresh everything, we should see that we have this right here. Okay, that's fantastic. Now let's actually go ahead and let's set this up. So it changes to be 100, doesn't need to be that big. And then we need to go ahead and grab the images for those specific projects. So for this one, I'm going to grab this. Okay, so I'm going to grab this, put it in here. Let's do the next one. And then right here. So now if I go ahead and I refresh, we should see that we have all of our images like that. So the images is way too big. Let's go ahead and let's condense it. So back into our page.tsx, let's fix this up. So what we need to do is where we have this right here, just do a width of 16 and a height of 16. You're going to see it's going to kind of look nice right here. Okay, so same thing, let's also set it up so that on medium-sized screens it's going to be flex, because right now we have too much empty space right here and I don't like that at all. So what we need to do is inside of this div where we have the border padding padding 4, BG of white, wrap this right here with a div, and then do the project.title, project.description, close the div like this, and then just say class name is going to be medium-sized screens, flex, items are going to be center, gap x of 4. Okay, and then let's refresh. So on mobile screen that looks good, and then you can see on medium-sized screens this is what it looks like now. Okay, very good. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to put the project date on the right hand side. So let's structure this as well. So where we have that div that I just showed you where the items that are gap x of 4, make sure that it only closes right after here. So after this p tag, we have the description, that's going to be right there. And then I also want to make this a justify between. So right here, do this, div, and then like that. So to class name is going to be flex item center. Let's do justify between, and then we should see everything working or aligned as intended. Refresh everything. Okay, so we have our date right here, which is good. Now I want to go ahead and make it so this right here is going to be only on medium-sized screens. So it's going to be underneath, which is nice. And then we can also just do a little top of like 2 or something like that. So it's a little bit spaced out. Awesome. And then on medium-sized screens, we're going to do no margin top. There we go. So now if I expand this, you're going to see you have a nice little date right here. Here it's going to be in the middle, and then everything is going to look pretty good. Let's remove this space while I have 2 also. Looks a little bit wonky here. Yeah, move these 2 together. And then I also want to do item center. Yeah, so that's good enough. Remove the margin top 4. That's why everything was like so pushed down. I was a little bit confused there, but we got it now. So there you go. We now have everything as intended set up, which is good. Okay, so now the next thing we work on is the work experience. So let's find where we have our projects, where the corresponding div is. Just do a div again. And instead of here, put an h2 tag. Let's do work experience. And then let's get set up with the class name again. So text to XL, padding top of 10, and then font semi-bold. There we go, so we have work experience right here. And then, as you guessed it, it's going to be the exact same thing. We're going to have an array of objects inside of here, and we're just going to display our work experience. So I'm going to go to the very top, close this one. Just say const experience, go ahead and display the title, description, the date, when you worked there, the company logo, in this case just Google logo, Facebook, and then Vercel, and then just some text. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just copy all the code right here so that we don't have to, let's just do this right here. So videos, we have projects. Okay, so I'm just going to say this right here. Let's just do a div again. And then let's just style this. Let's just do class name like that. And then I'm going to just do this right here. Grab this. So again, just feel free to pause the video right there to get all the exact classes I have. But as you can see, it's pretty straightforward stuff right here. And then we can do a div again. And then just paste everything like this. There we go. So I'll give you guys a chance to kind of see everything that I wrote right there. But then, as you can imagine, it's going to be pretty much the exact same thing as the projects. So we're going to have our work experience. We're going to just display where we worked at, the name, everything else, pretty much right there. Now let's go ahead and let's display our images for those specific companies. So in this case, it was like Facebook, Google, so on and so forth. So let me make sure that I have this open. Let's do Google logo, Facebook, and then we already have the Vercel one. So we're good to go. I didn't work at any of these companies, by the way, just in case you were wondering, but I'm just putting them there for reference. So as you can see, kind of things are coming together. Our dots are a little bit like faded away, which is kind of annoying, but if you zoom in, you can see them kind of right here. Okay, but then yeah, let's address that a little bit later on. So now that we have that, let's also get set up with the next part, which is going to be the, I believe it's going to be, so we did work experience, now education. So for education, we need to do exactly the same thing. So just create a div inside here, and then inside just put an h2 tag, which is just going to be education. And then same thing, let's just go ahead and set up the array. So this is going to be pretty straightforward. Close this out. To const education, title, description, date, and then the image. And then we can get set up. So for this one, I'm going to just do this. So where are we at? Right here, education. Let's loop through that, and then let's display it. There we go. So it pretty much just gave us the autofill right here, and then we just have to see what this looks like. So we have Bachelor of Computer Science, University of Toronto, and then we have the name of the university as well. So I'm just going to grab those images as well, paste them right here, and let's also get the Harvard one. And now if I refresh, you're going to see that we have this right here. Okay, I want to also make the education a little bit more rounded. So where we have rounded empty. Okay, so we already have this. Let's remove the padding of 2, which is nice. And there we go. So we have that kind of right there. There we go. So we have everything kind of lined up nicely. You can see all these are very straightforward, which looks really good. Kind of have the same experience going on right here. Okay, so now that we have everything set up, let's go ahead and let's actually add some framer motion into the application so that you can see once we reload our application, you can see it takes a little bit of a second to actually kind of have everything appear. So let's set that up. So what we need to do is you need to go to the very top. So I'm going to expand all these so you guys have a chance to kind of see everything right here. And again, I'll put a link to the GitHub repository so you guys can grab that code. But then now you have our education. So right here, where we have this min H screen with full, you can go ahead and you can just say, change this to a motion.div. So do motion.div. It's going to ask us to import motion from framer motion. So then we have to do that. So import motion from framer motion like that. And then let's find the corresponding div for this right here, which is going to be at the very bottom, the second last one. Let's do motion.div like that. And then we can go ahead and set up some stuff. So first things first, let's remove, or let's add, I should say, initial is going to be this right here. So the opacity is going to be 0. So just do 2 curly brackets. Let's do y 0 like that. Opacity is going to be 0 as well. Let's do animate. It's going to be an opacity of 10. And then the duration is going to be around like 2 seconds. So do transition duration 2 like that. And now if we refresh our application, we should see like a nice little kind of gradient going into effect right there. So as you can see, if I refresh again, you can see it's going to kind of like nicely like fade into the app, which is good. Okay, now that we have that, let's get set up with this. So this is going to refer to our actual navbar. So that's going to go along the top. And this is going to hide as we scroll. And then if we hover or over it, you're going to see it's going to appear again, which is going to create a nice little experience. So, okay, so let's set this up. So we're going to do a motion.div right here. So again, make sure that this is above your width 3/5. Let's do that. And then do a animate is going to be is equal to, let's say, is hidden, which is going to be a state that we're going to set up in a second. And then do a question mark, do hidden, and then visible. Let's do while hover. It's going to be visible. So that's going to be the string. On focus capture is going to be equal to set is hidden to be false. Let's do variance is going to be this right here. So we're going to say hidden like that. Let's set up an object. Let's do y is going to be a semicolon, and then we're going to say negative 90%. This is going to create that shooting out effect like that. Let's close this, and then let's do a visible as well. It's going to be the inverse. Make sure that we have this right here. And then let's also set up the transition. Transition again is going to be 0. Let's do 2 seconds, so let's be responsive. And then let's do class name is going to be fixed. Let's do, it's going to be at the top. We're going to do a Z index of 10, so make sure that it appears over everything else. MD is going to be flex, width full, justify center. Let's do a padding top of 3, and then it's going to be hidden like that. Okay, now that we have that, make sure you have a corresponding motion div, and now let's get set up with the states of is hidden. So for this one, all we have to go ahead and do is we have to just create a state called is hidden. Just do const is hidden. By default, it's going to be set to false. Make sure to import useState like that. So import useState from React. Let's keep scrolling down right here, and then where we have our this, let's just do const scroll y is going to be equal to use scroll. That's coming from framer motion, and then also do const. Let's do last y ref is going to be equal to use ref, which is going to come from React, and then also it's going to have a default of 0. Okay, so now that we have everything set up, it's going to create that little appearance. Let's do a use motion value event like that. Let's do, we're going to check to see if we have scrolled. If we have, we're going to change it. So we're going to say scroll y like that. Let's do change, which is going to just be text. Let's do a comma, and then do y like this. It's going to be a arrow function like that. So const difference is equal to y minus last ref dot current, and then we're going to go ahead and do some math right here. So do if math like that. Do dot abs difference is greater than 50. So instead of 10, we don't want to do that. We just want to be 50. But 50, 10 is going to be too sensitive, so just do 50, and then do set is hidden. Difference is going to be greater than 0, and then we want to do last yref.current is equal to y. So I know that was a lot of stuff that we just read there. It's going to make a lot more sense in a second. Okay, so that resolves the issues that we had right here. And now what we need to do is we need to create a navbar option, or I guess like an array of options. So again, referring to this right here. So these are all going to be objects. So let's get set up with our navbar. So underneath our projects and our experience, our education, underneath everything here, let's get set up with our navbar. So for this one, it's going to be pretty straightforward. It's just going to be text. Just go ahead and paste this right here. So we're going to say const navbar title link, all that right there. So just go ahead and feel free to pause the video. It's just going to refer to the text that we want to include inside of our navbar. Okay, and so now that we have that, let's start working inside of here. The next thing we need to do is we need to install our package called npmi react scroll. So just do npmi react scroll like this. So just grab this and then copy it, paste it right there. There we go. So we have it now added, which is good. And now we can go ahead and loop through all those titles that we have in our navbar array. Okay, so here, just do a div again. Class name is going to be flex. It's going to have a BG of white. We're going to do a gap x of 4 to space everything out. Let's do a padding of 4. Items are going to be centered, as well as we're going to make everything rounded XL. Now let's loop through our navbar, or let's map through them, I should say. So nav bar.map, let's pull the item, and then let's import scroll link. So what we need to do is at the very top, underneath where we have our use state, just say this. So import link as scroll link, as well as the element from React scroll. So this is going to allow us to actually click on something and then have it scroll to that specific ID. So again, right here, this is the navbar. Okay, so do scroll link like that. and then let's get set up. So for this, let's do the key is going to be equal to item.title. We're going to go to the specific thing that we've already put inside of the link. Let's do the smooth is going to be true, equal to true. Let's do a duration. It's going to be pretty quick, so we're going to do 500. Let's do class name is going to be equal to border. Let's do a padding x of 4. Let's do a padding y of 3. Rounded XO. Let's do a text of center. Let's do flex item center. Let's do justify center. And then also do cursor up pointer. And I also want to create this hover animation or effect once somebody hovers over it. So just do VG gray of 100. Alrighty, so we have that now. And then inside of here, let's just put the item.title. Close everything out with the corresponding tags. There we go. And this is going to be our navbar built out. So now once we refresh, we should see, okay, so we have to save this as a dev dependency. So just go ahead and copy the thing that they're trying to say try npm I save dev at types / react scroll. Just run that inside of your terminal. Give it a second to load, and then you're gonna see it's going to go away. Okay, so now if I refresh the application, we should see we have a navbar. There we go. So we have this right here. And now if I go ahead and I click on this, you're gonna see it's not going to actually scroll anywhere. So let's set that up. So what we can do is, as you can see, I was leaving a extra div open for this exact reason. So if we go back into here where we have videos, you can see that we have this div at the very top, and then we have another div right here for the projects, work experience, and then education. So what you need to do is you need to transform that to be an element. So again, element is being imported from React Scroll. So make sure you set this up. And then what we have to do is we have to just say it's going to refer to that specific index. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I go down to here, then I click on videos, change this to be element, like that. And then inside of here, let's give it a name, and then give it videos as well. Let's find the corresponding tag right here, change this to be element, like that. Give it a second to load. And now if I go ahead and I click on element inside the navbar, you're going to see it's going to scroll me down to that specific spot, which is very good. Okay, so now let's do that for the other one. So for projects, or not that, just do element, give it a type of project, or to, or name it project, sorry. And then do this one, do element again. Let's do element here. Let's get set up with the name. Name is going to be work. Element name is going to be education. And then we need to find out where this is. There we go. So we now have everything set up as intended and everything is working. So if I refresh this again and I go to medium-sized screen and above, you're going to see that we're going to have our navbar, which is going to go away as we scroll down, which is good. And then if I hover over it, you're going to see it's going to pop up, which is nice. Now if I go ahead and I click on videos, it's going to take me to videos. If I click on projects, it's going to take me to projects, work experience, so on and so forth. That's really cool. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to work on the contact form being visible on medium-sized screen and above navbar. So again, this is going to be pretty straightforward. All we have to go ahead and do is just copy where we have our content right here. So this dialog, just copy this. And then outside of where we have, we're looping through the navbars in that array, we just have to display this as well. So just after here, just paste this, and then you're going to see it's going to become visible. Oh, make sure it's visible. So we have contact right here. You see that if I click on this, it's going to open up. All we have to do is we have to add a little bit of styling. So just to trigger, it's going to be class name, let's do border, padding x4, padding y3, rounded of XL, text center, flex item center, let's do justify center, cursor is going to be pointer, and then also add in that little hover effect. Let's do PG gray of 50. There we go. So now we can see we have contact right here. Okay, so that's fantastic. So that is this entire application built out from start to finish. We have added everything that we needed to add. We have everything looking super responsive as well, which is really good. Now the next steps are going to be deploying to Vercel and actually getting a custom domain. So let's go ahead and let's set that up. What you need to do is just go to Vercel and then go to Analytics. Let's click on the Quick Start. All you have to do is you have to add this right here. And then you have to just run this package inside your terminal. So just do npm I vercel/analytics. And then now that you have that, just import analytics inside of your layout.tsx. So this way you can track how many people are coming to your website, so on and so forth, where they're coming from, all that stuff. Underneath your children are right here where we have the bracket. Is just display the analytics. So just do analytics like that, and then we have to import it as well. So we're going to say import to analytics from at Vercel/analytics/react. There we go. So we have import analytics from at Vercel/analytics/react, which is good. All right, and now that we have everything set up, we can go ahead and we can push this to production. So where we have source control, what you can go ahead and do is you can just do GitHub repositories. Let's try to find where we have this. Let me quickly find this extension. So if you don't already have it, go ahead and install this extension called Remote Repositories, which allows you to actually push your repository from your VS Code to your, no, it's not. So it's not remote, it's for GitHub repositories. So you can go ahead and create a repository directly from your VS Code. This is personally what I use. I like it the most because pretty much all I'm able to do right here is just click on this, and then where it says source control, just gonna say developer portfolio. Should I spell this correctly? Press commit. It's going to say, let's do commit to main. Say publish branch. It's going to say, would you like to publish this privately or publicly? I'm going to say public repository, and then that's going to push everything to the repository. So it says successfully published portfolio repository to GitHub, which is sick. And now if I go ahead and I go to vercel.com and I create a new project, so I just click add new project, you're going to see that my repository is going to be there. So now if I click on import, we can go ahead and we can actually deploy this. So I'm just going to say deploy. And then that's going to go ahead and actually deploy the project. It's going to give me a live link. And this is going to be the link that you guys are allowed to actually share to your friends, so on and so forth. You'll be able to collect the analytics and do whatever, right? So once this is done, I'm gonna go ahead and let this load, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to get a custom domain. Okay, so as you can see right here, everything was pushed successfully, which is good. Now if I go ahead and I click on continue dashboard, you're gonna see that it's going to give me a link that I can go ahead and click on. You're gonna see that you have your portfolio right here. Awesome. If I go ahead and click on a video, it's going to open up that video, which is fantastic. So now what you need to go ahead and do to get a custom domain is just go to vercel.com. Let's click on the project that you just created. So in this case, again, it was called portfolio. Let's click on the settings. Again, you have the analytics and everything set up. Click enable, press enable again. And then, yeah, there we go. So we have give us a couple days or minutes, whatever, it's going to actually display our analytics, which is good. But yeah, that's that. Click on the settings, click on domains, and then what you have to go ahead and do is you actually have to purchase a domain. In my experience, I've personally like purchasing my domains from Vercel just because it's super easy. I can actually show you what this looks like. So if you go to back to here, to like the home page or whatever, let's click on this, go back to dashboard, let's click on domains. You can see that right here, I have a number of different domains that I've purchased. So in this case, the one that I'm using is the UR codes one. So this is what it looks like. But all you have to do is just click buy domain, and then just search up your name. Probably is going to be the best thing. So if you're doing like test 123 or something like that, just actually purchase this right here. So I'm not going to do it because I already have, but then all you would do is just click on that, and then you will have the domain ready. And then all you have to do is you just go back into your project, the one that you want, and you just sync the domain like this. So if you click on the settings, domains, click on that domain that you just purchased, whatever, it's going to be connected to your account, your Vercel account, and then you can just do test 123, and then it's going to automatically add all the C name values and A name values, which is going to be super sick. But yeah, other than that, that's going to conclude the rest of this video. Feel free to reach out in the Discord if you have any questions, or leave a comment down below. Also, let me know what you guys want to see in the next videos going forward. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. See ya.